Hey, let's take a look at these quiz questions so that you can be better able to do well on the test. On numbers 1 and 2, they ask us to classify the angle as either an angle of elevation or depression. So those come off of horizontal lines. If it goes up from the horizontal line, it's an angle of elevation. If it goes down from the horizontal line, it's an angle of depression. So angle 6 is made with this horizontal line and it goes down. So that's a depression. Angle 7 is from this horizontal line and it goes up. So that is an angle of elevation. On number 3, it's a word problem. We need to draw a picture for it though. The pilot of a helicopter, so we're going to put a little helicopter there, sights a fire at an angle of depression of 11 degrees. So here's our horizontal line, and then down from that, by 11 degrees, he spots a fire. His altitude, that's his distance above the ground, is 1,700 feet. So we've got this ground here. Now, this angle and this angle will be the same, so 11 degrees. And they want to know to the nearest foot, what is the horizontal distance from the helicopter to the fire. So I'm going to use angle 11, and across from that, I know is the opposite 1700, and what I'm trying to find is the adjacent. So we're going to use tangent because that uses opposite and adjacent. The tangent of 11 is going to be the opposite 1700 over the adjacent. We didn't know what that was. To get x by itself, we're going to multiply by x on each side. We get x tangent 11 is equal to 1700. Then we'll divide by the tangent of 11. And that cancels. Putting that into our calculator, and we're going to solve to the nearest foot. That's going to be 8,746 feet. On questions numbers 4, 5, and 6, they're asking us to use a calculator to find the trigonometric ratio. We want to round to the nearest hundredths, which is 2 decimal places. You can see the work here on the calculator, and let's do those rounding. Tangent of 154 is negative 0.49. The cosine of 142 is negative 0.79. And the sine of 124 is going to be 0.83. On number 7, they give us one side and two angles. So we're going to use the law of sines, right? Because this is not a right triangle. To find PQ. Let's just call it X. So QR is 4.8. Measure of 80 is 8, or R is 80 degrees, and P is 42. So we can make ratios of the sine of an angle compared to its opposite side. So let's do sine of P, which is 42. And that's compared to the side 4.8. And then R, we'll take the sine of 80 degrees divided by its opposite side, which is X. And we're going to do cross products. So we get X times the sine of 42 degrees is equal to 4.8 times the sine of 80 degrees. I want to get X by itself, so I'm going to divide by the sine of 42 degrees. This cancels. Putting this into my calculator and rounding to the nearest tenth, I'm going to get X is equal to 7.1. On number 8, they gave us 3 sides, and it's not a right triangle, so we're going to use the law of cosines. And remember, on those, either the front or the back is going to be where we don't know something. This time it's an angle, so it's going to be the back. Let's put in what we do know. XY is 37.4, XZ is 17.1, and YZ is 44.5. We're trying to find angle 5, so we're going to start with the side across from that. So we're going to have 44.5 squared is equal to 37.4 squared plus 17.1 squared minus 2 times 37.4 times 17.1 times the cosine of x. So I'm going to do this in pieces. 44.5, when I square that, I get 1,980.25. And then I'm going to take these and add those together, and I get 1,691.17. And then I'm going to multiply this stuff together, and I get 1,279.08 times the cosine of x. Now I can't combine these two because they're not like terms, so I'm going to subtract the 1691.17 from both sides of the equation. I'm going to grab my calculator and do that. Minus 1691.17. Try it again. 1980.25 minus 1691.17. And I get 289.08. And that's equal to negative 1279.08 cosine x. I am going to divide this by 1279.08. And that will cancel, leaving me with what cosine x is. I don't want to know that. I want to know what x is. X is going to be, and when we're finding angles, we'll use the inverse cosine of 289.03 over negative 1279.08. Put that into my calculator, and I round it to the nearest degree. That's going to give me 103 degrees.